Hello, it is Wednesday night. My name is Terry Phelps, and I'm independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I live in Minnesota. So I hope everyone is finally getting some decent weather. um, yeah. It has been a crazy day, and so I just kind of threw this together. It's a card that I have seen a couple of different times, and so I decided the suite that I'm going to use tonight, this card would be awesome in. So let me go down to my desktop and I'll show you this suite. So this thing, it's beautiful. It's one of my all-time favorite suites that is in our catalogs right now. It's beautiful colors, it's ferns. Yeah, it's got a gorgeous embossing folder. It's just, I love it. So this is called the Moonlit Flora. And so let me just quick show you the stamp sets and everything. So this is the stamp set. I love a good background stamp, and you have some, greenery and some butterflies. The sentiments are awesome too. It's sincere thanks. You make the world a better place. You're an amazing friend, and thank you or thankful for you. So I really love that stamp set, and it also has a little banner tag, so that's always awesome to get too. So these are the dies, and so they of course coordinate with the stamp sets, and this is what they look like for size reference. So we're going to use some of those. I kind of don't know what I'm going to do. I have an idea, but I have no idea how it's going to turn out. So, we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants here. This is the gorgeous embossing folder. And so that is just stunning. It's so pretty. I have a print of one. It's just gorgeous though. So that is the embossing folder. And then there's these embellishments with the suite. Sparkly, really fun. And then the paper, and of course, Stampin' Up's paper is just the best, I swear. It's just gorgeous. So I'm going to show you this paper really quick. So, and if you don't know, a lot of this is all hand painted, and then they go from there and they create the paper. So I can't imagine being able to do that. I can't paint a square box or draw it for that matter. So this is the one side. I've got it chopped up because I used it. And then this is the other side. So really nice. And then this one is gorgeous. I love it. I love this moth. That's really cool. And then this is the other side of that. So like always, they have gorgeous like backgrounds for in case you don't, want to use the papers necessarily for what the theme is, but you love the colors. So I love that Stampin' Up! Does that. They think of everything, I swear. But that one's really pretty. And then this is the other side of that. You get 12 sheets. So it's 2 of each. Love this. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. And then this is the other side of that. And I like how it kind of looks like a watermark or just brush strokes. I like that detail because it gives it depth and it's just not so boring, right? This one is really pretty. And then we have that. But isn't that gorgeous? I love ferns anyway. They're like one of my faves. So really fun paper. So that is the suite that I'm going to be working on with tonight. And I'll get this out of the way. So, like usual, I'm not going to show you what we're going to make. We're just going to make it. And then I have some alternatives that I have done. So let me bring in my stuff here. So and like I said, I just kind of decided to do this afternoon. So I don't really know what I'm going to be doing right now. I have an idea, but who knows if it's going to work. So our card is a basic card, 8.5 by 5.5, and scored at 4 1/4. Alrighty. And then this card, we're going to also need 2 panels. And so this card, we're going to need 2 panels. Both of them are going to be 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. And I've done this card 2 different ways. There's lots of different ways I'm sure you could do, but I'm going to do one. Now, I don't know if this is going to work that great, but I'm going to do one panel. I've already cut this. This is 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. And then my second panel I'm going to use is the same as what we're going to use for our card base. Oops. So there's 5 1/4, and we're going to go 3 3/4. Let's go this one. That seems like it's crooked. All right, so we're going to use this as our second panel. And then we're also going to cut a white panel for our inside of our card. So I'm going to do that at 5 1/4. Go this way. 5 1/4 by 4. All right. So I think for now, that's all we need to cut. All right. So I'm going to get that out of the way. Oh, wait. I lied. We have more cutting to do. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right. So I mentioned that we're going to use lots of layers. So what is going to happen is I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to cut it in a bunch. I'm cleaning my track. I got lots of fuzz and stuff in there. Stuff gets built up and then it doesn't cut very good, right? Sorry. So we're going to take this piece of paper and we're going to cut strips out of it. So, and we're going to do this from the right side. So we're going to cut 6 strips, and 3 of them are going to be 1/2 inch and 3 of them are going to be 3/4. But you're going to want to keep this picture or this piece in the same order, right? So we're just going to start cutting. This is my center, or my start point. So this is a 1/2 inch. We're going to go from the right side. So this is my first one at 1/2 inch, and I'm going to put this down here so I keep this in order. Now I'm going to do a 3/4 inch, and I'm going to put that right here. Now I'm going to do another 1/2 inch. And I'm going to do a 3/4. And I'm going to do another 1/2 inch. And then what you should have left is a 3/4 inch, which is what we have. So sweet. So that goes on the edge. All right, so this is our pattern. So we're going to keep this all together in order. Take it off our cutting board here. All right. So it is time for some gluing. Now this is going to be, so you could do this a couple different ways. You could take the same piece of designer series paper in the same spot on the second sheet that you get, and just cut the 5 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece and put that on underneath, right? I don't want to waste the designer series paper for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this as my base, because this is going to be totally covered anyway. So the 1/2 inch strips are going to be elevated. The 3/4 inch strips are going to be tacked down right on top of this cardstock here. So I'm going to use, I think, liquid glue. It gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Now, you know, pay attention when you are taking your paper that you don't go like this and then put it on like upside down or whatever. So just make sure you're keeping the designer series. If it's a directional, if there's an actual scene or something, you're going to want to make sure that you keep them in order and not upside down. All right. Ooh, that was a big glob. Smear that around a little bit. All right, so the first one is going to go right on the edge. And I'm using my silicone mat because it's just easier to work with glue. It doesn't get stuck everywhere else. And when it's on here, it just comes right off. So I like that feature. Okay, so that's the first one. Now the second one is going to be up on dimensionals. So we're just going to, and I'm going to do these fairly close because, you know, I don't want them to sag anywhere. I want these to stay nice and tall. All right. I'm going to have these little backings stuck to everything. They'll end up, even if I throw them in the garbage, I don't know how, they end up on my socks, in my hair, in my dog's hair. It's just crazy. It's like, ah. All right, so I'm going to make sure that my design is still in order. And so maybe, I don't know if you can see as well. I don't know if that helps or not. But so I'm just going to overlap this just a little bit. If not anything, just make sure that you're not seeing any background behind. Okay, so see how that's it's alternating, right? So we're going to take our next 3/4 and we're just going to adhere this right straight down to the cardstock like we did before. So this is such a super easy card, but it is such a fun card to make. Okay, so I'm going to line this up. And then when I'm using liquid glue, I can have a little bit of time to move stuff around here. So I like that. So see how that's popping up? Super fun, right? So this is our 1/2 inch. So those are going to go up on dimensionals. Oops. All right. All right. Oops. So, and again, I want to line up my pattern. And these are on dimensionals, so it's a little more wonky if you have to move this panel. So sweet, right? Can you see that effect? Pretty fun. All right, so we got our 3/4, so we're gonna slap that right onto the cardstock. So I'm not taking any credit for designing this card. This is actually the instructions that I'm using were given to me, and as far as I know, at least these actual instructions, these are from another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Her name is Laura Secchi. So this is from her design. So that she used totally different things, and I played around with this a little bit, preparing for this afternoon. And so I made what did I make? I made 2 other cards differently so that you could have some ideas on different options. So super fun. All right, so we are almost done with this, and I think I'm going to take this card. I don't know yet. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to keep this one fairly simple. I think I'm going to just use butterflies to decorate this little panel. All right, so now this one's a little tricky because I want it to, woohoo, perfect. So look how fun that is. Can you see the different panels? It's just nummy. See, and so it's just doing all these fun layers. So that's got a lot of depth to it. So we're going to take this panel and I'm going to attach that to our card base. And then we might as well put our inside panel in as well, right? Might as well. Hopefully I have enough tape. Oh, I think I just ran out. Let me try this one. This one's at the end too. All right, I can squeak by and see. This is why I love working on this. I had a little bit of tape. Thank goodness it came off really well. All right, so we're going to put this on the inside of our card. All right. And then we're going to take this panel, and I chose this color because I wanted it to feel earthy, like this is. I didn't want too much green, and I almost chose a yellow. This is actually one of the new colors, and it is Golden Glow, but I don't have any paper yet of Golden Glow. So I decided I'm going to use this one. It's a nice natural, and so I think it will be perfect. Wow. I can't believe I had enough to do this. That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to adhere this to the front panel. All right, so fun. So this is our card base. Super fun, right? All right, so let's take and I gotta decide how I'm going to decorate this. So I think for sure I'm going to use the banner stamp. I gotta find my stamps, what I did with them. And I'm gonna try using the outline. The thing I don't like about using outlines like this is if you don't get it quite straight on, and this is a new stamp set, so I need to, it might still have some residue left on it from processing, making the stamp. So a lot of times if you take your skin, rub it on your skin, it will remove some of that. So I'm going to just stamp this up. Okay. And I'm just going to, there we go. So now I think I'm going to decide what kind of sentiment I want. I think we're going to use we'll use Thankful for You, I think. Why not? Sounds like a good sentiment. Alrighty. And again, this is a new stamp, so I'm going to stamp it off. All right. And when I do my inking of my stamps, I usually take the pad to the stamp. I get better results then. All right, let's see. Let's see if this fits in here. It should, right? Let's see if I can do it straight. That's another thing. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. All right, so we're going to do that for the, oh my, I have an idea that I think I'm going to try taking, I should have done this before I stamped, but I did not. So I'm going to take my stamp pad and I'm going to smoosh it. I'm just going to tap it on top of this. I don't want it real muddy. I just want it to look kind of random. So you see what I did there? And of course you need to use ink that can withstand like liquid, right? So it doesn't smear, but that's what I did just to make that so it has a little interest. So these are the new stamp pads. Love them. They're magnetic. So it's awesome. And as usual, Stampin' Up! Has their ink pads upside down. So that's awesome because it keeps the ink in the top. These are all magnetic, so they all like hang out together. Love it. So fun. Anyway, so that's what I think we're going to do for our label. And I think I'm going to, we have 2 butterflies in this stamp set. So I'm going to stamp those and color them. And I think I'll probably maybe use Wink Estella. That will be a good way to add a little bit of bling bling, right? Okay. So I'm going to pop this on. All right. So this actually would be kind of cool, stamping it right in here, but that's too much like what we already got going on. So that's, we're not going to do that. But that would be an interesting effect, right? Sweet. All right. So let's take those and I'm going to take those and color them. I kind of picked a couple of blends that I thought might kind of be good for moths. So I'm just going to color those really quick. And you don't, these are alcohol blend, inks, so they will not like interact with water. So that's kind of nice because let's see. Should I find a different color? What kind of color should I do? What? Why not? I'm going to do, this is light sea foam. Wait a second. I'm going to use the brush side. Oh, I think it's dried up. There we go. Fun. I'm going to do this guy's little body the same. And I think I'm going to do the opposite. Just so I'm going to do this one. And I'll do these guys the other way. Just for simplicity, I was like, I could have done some yellow or something, you know, that would have been good. Okay, I think they'll look nice in here. So I'm going to take these things and cut them out. So I've got my 2 little butterflies. Oh, I think I'm going to use Wigastella on these if I have any up here. Yeah. You know, because it will just give it a nice look. So this Wigastella, wait, I have another one. This one might be better. Oh yeah, this one's got the juice. Can never have too much bling. All right, so we're going to just do this real quick before we do the die cutting. You know, and when you look at a moth or a butterfly, they do kind of have a little iridescence. So, yeah, you see that? Kind of does a lot of fun shimmer. All right, so I'm happy with those. I'm going to put a little shimmer on their little antennas too. It's a little detail, but you know what? Sometimes that's like the thing that does the most. All right. All right, so I'm going to run these through. I got to find my dies. So, whoops, I'm losing dies. All right, so we need this one. And we need our butterflies. Okay, I'm going to move this off and line these up. And I'm going to use a little bit of removable tape so that I can today I went to go get lunch, and I don't know where my head was at. It was just, I was not awake yet or something. I don't know. And the guy was like, I paid and stuff, and he was telling me instructions on what was going to happen, you know, like, you're going to get your drink, you know, and so you just, nice hair. You're going to get your drink, and so just come over here, and then I'll page you when your food's ready. So I totally was not listening to him. And I looked at him when he was all done, and I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't hear a thing you said. I was not listening. And I go, I don't know where I'm at right now in my head, but, you know, so he's like, no, that's okay, you know, and so he went through the whole spiel again, right? Well, then I was waiting for my drink, and then he said, like 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, he's like, so I think I'm in the same place you are. He goes, did you say you wanted your chai cold or hot? And he already made it as a cold chai, you know, and which is what I wanted. But I was like, I want chai, I wanted it cold and stuff. But it was just funny. We were both just like, I don't know what's happening. But yeah, so that's how my day's been right now. So okay, let's see what we have here. I just love creating stuff. So fun. Alrighty, so we've got our butterflies, or maybe moths actually. They kind of look more like moths than butterflies. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Nice. I'm liking how this is going to look. This is going to be super fun. And because we have our panels that are like alternating in heights, these butterflies are going to be really fun to be able to just, you know, sit up on one of the higher tiers, right? Super fun. All right, and so we have this. Now, I did have a piece, and like I said, I don't know what I'm going to actually do here. So I started taking a blender pen and I started blending. This is another thing you can do if you don't want to color by dabbing and all that. This is what this blender pen is doing, is it's picking up the ink from the stamped image, and that's what's coloring in the leaves. So it's a different look. It's a little more softer and something that's fairly quick to do, right? I did not want to color this with ink and then it kind of takes away from the outline, and it would look just too dark and it wouldn't have any like depth to it, right? It would just be like, I don't know, plain green leaves. So I did not like that. So I'm going to just see if I like this after I get done coloring, right? And we might add this to the card. Let's see how that's just picking up the ink. And it's kind of fun because it gives your paper a little different texture, because it's just kind of, it makes the paper a little more broken down. And so it has a little different feel to it. It's kind of like it's been scratched, even though I'm not scratching the surface of the paper, but the chemical in this, which I don't even know what this actually is. I don't know if it's not, I don't think it's alcohol. I don't know really what's in it, but it's interacting with the paper a little bit. I also like, depending on how you color, how much color is actually going to apply. You know, I can go over this and bring in more color if I feel that some areas just aren't enough green. So sweet. I kind of am liking this. I feel like it's a softer, kind of more natural kind of looking in a way. Wow, and if you touch this, it's kind of raw. But see how it just naturally kind of filled in that color. So we might. I was thinking I had this embossed piece too. I could put that in there, but I don't think so. We're going to keep this kind of simple. So let's take our little guys off. Let's see if we even like this idea. It's kind of covering up the panels a little bit. And I love the little swirl of the fern here. But this is kind of plain. But remember, I said I was going to kind of keep it simple, right? So we could do this, something like this. I don't typically put stuff in the top of the card, but I like, because of the way the paper is, this is like a dead space right here. So I'm kind of liking that. That's the worst part, is deciding where. I was thinking we could do this, but I don't like that. We need to have these guys floating around. So let us. Okay, so we kind of forgot about him. Yay or nay? I am. I kind of don't like it. I think the paper is pretty enough just by itself. So I think we're going to, I like the white. That could go here. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like it. Nope, I don't want that on there. We have a little bit of this fern stuff. We could make a little strip. Nah, I'm going to keep this one simple. It's what I said I was going to do. So we're going to put this up here. That could go there. It's so hard to decide, right? This is kind of far away. And then I can also put little embellishments. Well, okay, I'm going to pop this up. I'm trying to see if I like this is a little bit, no. All right, I'm going to pop this up. You know, that's not too bad either. Does anyone else have as much trouble trying to figure out where to place things? Okay, I'm just going to go with that. All right, we're going to throw some dimensionals down. Oh, wait. Well, I guess I forget that because this is like different levels, sometimes I don't need to put dimensionals where I do. But then I think if it's on the lower part, it'll kind of keep it even, right, with the dimensional. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I see what happened. Well, all right. And then I'm going to take and bend my little wings a little bit. And I'm going to place it down with some glue. All right. I think we'll put him like right there. And this one. I think we'll place right here. All right, I let those dry. So how fun is that? Look at all the different layers we have. So that's alternating between being up on dimensionals, down, up, down. And that's really fun. So once these dry a little bit, I am going to take these wings and bend them a little more. All right, and let's put some bling on here. Where is my bling? Bling, bling, bling. Where are you? There we go. So we can do rhinestones, or we can do, this is what comes in the suite. So because we have, let's see, do we have blue in here? Not really. It'd be another color, but I think we'll do the green on. Why not? It is a nature thing after all, right? So we're going to do green. I think we'll take and do one on that end, one on this end. I can never see if I'm like even. Actually, maybe I will move it so that, whoops. We're going to go in the corners because that way I'm going to do this one up in a corner. Okay, fun. And then let's do a couple. Don't know if we need to add any more or not. So kind of fun. Let's see what it would look like. We'll put maybe smaller ones. Just kind of randomly on the card, huh? And let's see. I'll do one more like up here somewhere. Not sure I like it, but That's what happens when you just do things on the fly. But look how pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. All right, so do you want to see the other ones that I made? Let me get all this stuff kind of out of the way and make some room. Get rid of these because I know they're going to end up all over. See, there they went. They're starting to make their escape. All right, so we have these. This one, this is what we just made. And so one of the other ones I made. So this was using just a regular panel, just one of the background sides of the designer series paper. And then I took and I used, I cut out some ferns, and this is the negative space, and I was going to throw it away, and I decided to incorporate it into this card. So this would normally be garbage, right? But I liked how it looked. And so that was a take on this one using just regular patterns. And then this one is gorgeous. Now this, I took my panel. Remember we had 2 panels. So this panel I did as the embossing folder. I used the embossing folder instead of designer series paper. And so look how gorgeous that is. And I just kept it monochromatic, and you know, but it is beautiful. This would make a gorgeous you know, wedding, you know, it could be a sympathy card. That's kind of a weird thing to say at one time, wedding and sympathy, but just depending, just switching out the sentiment, and you have these gorgeous cards, right? So that is what we made. I wish I had a way to zoom in more, but yeah. So I'm going to show the instructions, and I'll put those. I'll put the cards like here so that you have some room. So if you want to take a screenshot, this is the instructions. Here, let me get rid of me. So these are the instructions. So if you want to do a screenshot, and then these are the gorgeous cards. So I hope it inspires you. You can do a lot of different things with these cards, right? They don't have to be super formal. They don't have to be even fern, you know, you don't even have to use that. You can use any designer series paper with this type of a, you know, technique, right? And it's just makes a fun card. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you try it. If you do, post it. I'd love to see what you make. And with that, I will let you go, and I will see you again next time. Take care.